What's up, legends? Tips and tricks video number 3 for you guys. Today I want to talk about the power of nonverbal communication. So in a general setting, nonverbal communication is really important to convey how you're feeling. It might be a smile, it might be a nod, or it might be a frown. That helps convey to the person that you're talking to how you're feeling and what you're thinking. Those things become absolutely amplified in a digital setting. So I need to know what you guys are thinking, feeling, and understanding specifically when we're going through our content. So what we like to do is I like to utilize nonverbal communication. So in a normal setting, when you go to, let's say, a party, then if you're talking with somebody, you might lean in, you might nod, and you might smile, and that helps suggest that you're listening and that you're following along. Well, what we want to do is we want to amplify that to encourage more people to participate and to ensure that more people are engaged with the content. I do a lot of discussions, debates, and deliberations in my classroom, and so these are going to be things that you guys need to do and utilize when we're doing that. So let's begin. A lot of these things are taken straight from sign language, and this first one is no different. This is literally the sign for same, and so all we're going to do is we're going to amplify that a little bit more to make sure that people can see us in our video and so that they know that, yes, I agree. So if you agree with somebody, then you'll just put your hand like this and you move it back and forth. I oftentimes do it with both hands to suggest, yes, I agree with this. So if somebody's saying something and you're following along, or they're saying something that you agree with, then you'll do this motion. Now, you're not going to agree with everything that everyone says, so if you disagree, then you might do this motion. So this shows that you're not quite sure that you agree. It doesn't mean that you hate their idea or that it's a stupid idea. A lot of times people feel attacked initially with this nonverbal communication, but the reality is that this is just trying to communicate more feedback to you as you're speaking. So if you see somebody doing this, then you might be able to throw the conversation to them and say, what are you confused? Is there something that you're confused about? Or what is it that you disagree with me about? And that allows the conversation to move and flow a little bit more effectively. So again, this means I agree, this means I disagree, or I'm not quite sure that I agree with what you're saying. Let's try another one. In our second video, we talked about acing an answer, answering, citing evidence, and explaining. Today, I want to think about how we can demonstrate that we need to know more information from that person just through nonverbal communication. So if you need to know more information, then all you'll do is you'll go this. That means, I need more. You haven't sold me quite yet. So maybe I'm kind of on board with your premise or your thesis, but I need more evidence to be able to say, yes, I agree, or no, I disagree. So anytime you need a little bit more information, you just put your fingers together like this, and that means more. This next one is a new one this year, and so this means that you want to build off of what somebody else is saying. So if somebody started to say something and you really agree with it, you can do the agree, but then if you want to add something to it, then you just do this, and that illustrates the idea that you want to build off of that topic. These last two hand symbols are just symbols that I will use. Other people won't use them. Your peers won't use these. These are just ways that I can communicate with you if you're talking that allow you to have a little bit more feedback on what I need from you in that moment. Sometimes our answers can become more of a monologue than a dialogue, and we want to make sure that we let other people in. So if that's happening, I'll try and suggest that you finish up what your statement is by simply doing this. This will suggest that you need to finish up so that way we can get other people involved in the conversation. Lastly, things can sometimes get intense or heated or emotional when we're having a discussion or a debate. When that happens, I'll simply do this to suggest that you need to calm down. Oftentimes, our emotions can get the best of us, and that doesn't lead to a helpful conversation. Think of it like this. When you're having a debate or a discussion, it's not about being right. Consider this. Think that you are wrong and your desire is to be less wrong. If you approach it in that way, all of a sudden other people's feedback and ideas are no longer attacks on your ideas, but there are actually potential opportunities to improve your own thinking. If we do that, we can start to create a much more meaningful and impressive dialogue. So think about all these skills to allow us to have a more engaged and participatory dialogue and discussion. We'll use these both in class, in person, but definitely we'll utilize these online. Class! It's pop quiz time. I want to make sure that you guys are digesting and understanding everything I'm throwing out at you. So here we go, pop quiz. Question number 1. What are my 5 values that I go over at the beginning of every single class? It's a call and response that I use every single day. Do you know all 5 of those? I'll give you a second to think. The correct answer is 1, work hard. 2, be brave. 3, uplift others. 4, no excuses. And 5, be honest. Those are the 5 core values that we go over every single day to start every class. Laser focus. Question number 2. In our last video, we talked about acing an answer. I want to know, what does the acronym ACE stand for? The correct answer is answer, cite evidence, and explain. Remember, on all answers, you want to ace it. Your last question, number 3, is more of a follow along. I just want to review the gestures that we went over today really quickly. So if you agree with somebody, you're going to do this. If you disagree with somebody, you're going to do this. If you need more information from somebody, you're going to do this. If you want to build off of what somebody else is saying, you're going to do this. And then only gestures that I will do to help communicate more information to you is if I need you to wrap up what you're saying, I'm going to do this. And then the last one is if things are getting a little too heated or your emotions are getting the best of you, I'm going to remind you to calm down by doing this. Legends, we are off to an awesome start. I hope these videos have been helpful. Definitely check these out. These will prepare you for success as soon as you step foot into my classroom, virtually or physically. See you guys soon.